tantalizingly human.
When I walked in, I thought he was crazy.
There's old rusty pipes running up on the ceiling. You can hear a crunch on the floor.
And I thought I saw something go by the staircase. Running like a herd.
Scared me to death.
I have never seen him run that fast.
And I said, listen, someone needs to come here right now. That was the scariest I ever was.
Scott Township, Pennsylvania. A quiet rural community. For the owners of a software company who were looking to expand their business, it was a place where they could find ample space at the right price. Little did they know, they were getting much more than they bargained for.
My name is Steven. Our company was started in 1993. We developed software that diagnoses computer system problems in vehicles. When we were looking for a new facility, I said I wanted a building with character, and drove by this building with a for sale sign out front. It's very prominent, sitting right on a corner, so as you come around this 90-degree turn, you see this 3-story brick structure sitting there. I thought it would be a lot more interesting to work there than in some boring, rectangular-looking steel structure.
When I walked in, I thought he was crazy. This building has about 36,000 square feet, and there's been no maintenance on it in probably 40 years.
Rick, he's our corporate controller, and he's actually my first cousin.
It was a very strange situation walking in here the first time and seeing all that. We found a plaque, and this was called the Blakely Home. I've always been a history buff, so anyway, I got the idea to go to the Lackawanna County Historical Society and see if I could find anything about this building. It was an insane asylum. It's kind of neat when you think about it. It was much larger than anything we needed at the time. The price was still right, so we bought it anyway.
They called it the New Insane Building, and if you just peek behind the door, we're totally surrounded by the history of what used to take place here.
Some of the stairwells in the building, they installed bars all the way around. Inmates would be on the top floor and jump to their death down the 3 stories down to the basement. In the basement, in the unfinished section,
there's old rusty pipes running up on the ceiling. The whole area is just very dark and dingy. You can hear it, crunch on the floor as you're walking.
as soon as you open the door on the left-hand side, there are 2 isolation cells. They have doors that are 2.5 inches solid thick wood. They have a little peephole that you can look through. It's a real creepy looking closet.
Isolation cells might have been necessary to restrain someone who is engaging in behavior that was potentially dangerous to him or herself or other patients. There may have been cases where inmates ended their own lives.
In the basement, one of the obvious things that we noticed was there was about 24 stainless steel cages left here.
They're big enough to hold cat, dog, monkey. It's big. They're big enough to hold a decent sized animal.
Everything that I saw looked like something a chemist would use. Glass vials and beakers, Bunsen burners all over. Everything was set up like they were coming back to work on Monday and never came back. We heard rumors that animal testing had going on here.
We believe that it was probably for the cure of arthritis. When we moved some of the equipment, it was all kind of dog bones, rawhide, just clumps of dog hair everywhere. So I found stacks of photographs of rats being dissected on lab tables.
We definitely heard those rumors about ghosts, but I was a total skeptic. I grew up in a very strong Catholic family. We don't believe in ghosts.
When we first moved into the building, we hear creepy creaking noises, and then you look to find where it is, and there's nothing there.
You kind of get, that strange feeling that there might be someone looking over your shoulder, someone watching. It's just kind of a, eerie feeling that comes over you.
You turn around and of course nobody's there and you don't see anything. We have a very good system here for security, and the system consists of sensors throughout the whole building that detect motion. And we're having a problem with one particular zone. Right at the bottom of the steps in the basement in the unfinished section, in the same section as where the solitary confinement rooms are. The sensor in that zone was going off. It was always that zone.
So we've been dispatched 34 times to the premises. It is unusual to have 34 false trips. Standard for a building would be about 3 times a year. All the time when we respond, the building will be secure, and we've never encountered anybody on the premises or in the building.
After replacing everything and rewiring things again and again, it always went off at that one sensor.
The only way we could solve the problem was shutting it off. So it's not active anymore.
One evening I was working here late, alone in the building, and Smitty the cat was with me as I was, walking around making sure everything was closed up. This cat is a very mellow, large cat. He doesn't really move that fast for anything. He was in the basement with me, right next to the animal research facility. We were kind of hanging out, and he was like rubbing against my leg. I had just closed the door. All of a sudden, something, startled him, and as I turned to my right and looked, I saw a very large black shadow go directly across the hallway. Smitty took off running all the way through the corridor. I have never seen him run that fast. Smitty the cat was in the basement with me. All of a sudden something, startled him. And as I turned to my right and looked, I saw a very large black shadow go directly across the hallway. It was smoky, 10 feet tall and 3 feet wide. It's one thing to hear, something from somebody else and say they had this, strange experience, they heard something, they felt this, weird feeling, but to have that happen to yourself, that sheds a new light on it. And I said, I think that's my signal to go home tonight.
It just got to the point where so many different things had happened to so many different people. I started keeping a log. I guess it's my personality. I'm an accountant, and accountants keep track of things. Still being a skeptic, I'd never had any experiences, and just had no reason to believe it. It was a night when I was here by myself. It was completely dark outside, and I was painting, and I walked past the stairwell where we've always had a lot of problems. I walked in the lab full of stainless steel animal cages, and I heard the loudest hiss I've ever heard in my life, like no cat could ever do. It was like a... My heart skipped a beat, and I quickly got myself out of the building. I added that to the log because it was another strange incident that we had no explanation for whatsoever. After the incident, I was a little bit apprehensive about being here by myself again. And I was looking over my shoulder probably more than I ever did.
Multiple employees come to me and say, it's just something about this building. I'm just depressed, or, I'm sitting here and I just get angry for, no reason whatsoever. I'm just angry all the time.
When things keep happening over and over and different things and different people, even if you're a skeptic, you've got to wonder why it is.
The Pennsylvania Paranormal Association was created to help those people who believe that they are having a haunting or other paranormal activity occurring at their home or place of business. The history that we knew about this location started as a state insane asylum. In more recent years, it was used as a laboratory for research on animals.
I was very curious as to what it was the PPA were going to do and how they, would do it, what kind of equipment they were using.
Set up the equipment from DVR system, wireless voice recorders, and handheld camcorders.
We wanted to bring Ben in as part of our investigation because he is a police-trained canine. It's very well documented that animals do react to locations with paranormal activity.
Ben and I were partners in a police canine unit out in Maryland. He is the best partner I've ever had. In a working environment, he's very tight, close to me. He'll sit down when I stop. He'll go up a set of stairs alongside of me. He doesn't leave my side literally that close.
Ben does not do anything unless Joel asks him or tells him to do something.
If there's anybody in here, my name is Mark. We're here as friends.
The upper floor team was Mark and Joe and Ben.
Is there anyone with us tonight? He's going to give us some type of sign.
We were in there asking some questions, trying to get some kind of response if anybody was there with us.
Do you know any way to make the dog react to you? To make him bark somehow?
Even if you call his name, he should be able to hear you.
His name is Ben.
Ben immediately took off right down the stairwell.
Ben, here. He was out of sight. That's what I mean. I was totally in shock.
Why did you have Ben in the basement?
Ben immediately took off right down the stairwell.
During Mark's investigation, we saw, Ben come flying out of the bottom of the staircase in the basement level, and then he, took a right and sprinted all the way down the hall towards the animal research facility.
I did not give him a command to exit the room. I wasn't moving, so therefore my body language didn't even hint to him that we were getting ready to leave.
We picked up an EVP that was very startling.
Is there anyone here who would like to speak to us? I know there's somebody here.
And a voice comes out of the blue and says something to the effect of, "Scare 'em." When we find such quality evidence, such as an EVP like that, it really validates the rest of the experiences that we have.
The EVPs were just so clear and so obvious what they're saying, it's hard to dispute it.
After we completed the review of our investigation, we were pretty certain that we had a haunting going on here. We decided to bring in Barbara, a psychic medium, just to validate some of the facts.
When Barbara came to this building, she knew nothing about the building. Nothing at all. She had never seen a picture. She didn't know what it was used for. She knew absolutely nothing.
I felt like I just wanted to run from the building. I didn't want to be here.
She was talking about, rats and animal research.
Dogs, cats, anything they could get their hands on, believe me. There was so much hell here. They kept them in pens, they didn't feed them, they didn't give them water, they suffered. It was inhumane.
And when she walked into 2 solitary confinement rooms, just overcome by grief.
They kept people in here, didn't they?
They did.
Oh my God. And they would die right in here, and they didn't even know they were dead. And they were all screaming at the same time. And people forgot they were here. We just left them here. For days, weeks. And I believe they incinerated them too.
There was an incinerator right up there.
Oh my God.
Barbara told us that there were a lot of spirits that were trapped here. They felt stuck. They were just looking for any way out that they could get. Barbara felt that there were human and animal spirits here at this location.
I never felt anything as depressing as this place.